Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The suffering is on the horizon. Indeed, it is, gents. Maybe I won't know till this coming winter. However, it appears that we are on the verge of agreement. Things are not looking good in the macro economy, and we're going to discuss and expose that in today's video. Despite the fact that the economy is, supposedly, doing splendidly. Let's discuss this in today's video and lay out the timeline, if you will, to see whether it's true. Disclosing a television for sale was step 1. After Saudi Arabia and Russia each extended their unilateral oil supply curbs by 3 months, a painful increase in oil prices was inevitable. Now you know what to do. Right. The term Bidenomics has so entered common usage. If people start blaming Biden for trivial things, it will have a major effect. Inflation and rate rises are a never-ending cycle, and just when fuel costs were beginning to stabilize last month, they are about to skyrocket again, driving up the price of everything from clothing to groceries. Exactly. It's quite evident how to get to Thailand. Okay, here is the one of my videos where you might want to pay attention, guys. Okay? I'm going to expose it to history because I'm not afraid of becoming the bad guy. Alright, so here is what I think. Now, let's talk money. I take it then that you find this crude. Oil, to be precise. Guys, have a look at this. The energy is high. It's on the loose and running amok, men. Right? For a few months now, such is the case. So, what, exactly, occurs when oil prices rise? Pressure petrochemicals made from petroleum and natural gas are responsible for the production of over 6,000 common items and cutting-edge technologies. There, you now have more than 6,000 items in stock. Right? Oil is a necessity for us. This is the scene of the action. The regular men are about to get squeezed, right? Raise the tide for everyone. Inflation will continue to be a problem. Here's where knowing the right people comes in handy. Yes, I see what you did there. Rates will continue to rise under Jerome Powell. Right. Gasoline will not be sold on the market. As of right moment, I wouldn't call it bullish. Right. These red flags raise the possibility that the guys may trigger a black swan event. To counter OPEC's efforts to devalue the dollar, we want to weaponize oil as well. Okay, gentlemen, time to see who comes out on top. Right. So, basically, money conflicts lead to heat wars, right? But most people don't see it happening. So ultimately, guys, they don't care if there's going to be carnage on the horizon. They just want their end goal to be achieved. A two-class society, with the wealthy receiving a higher tax rate than the poor, seems likely to me, with the latter receiving UBI. Do I have this right, brothers? These are merely my thoughts on the matter. Obviously, I can't predict the future. Thus, I am uncertain. This is an absolutely future event, but UBI will be a factor. That must be after the fall. Canadian real estate typically costs around $750,000, or 0.75 million Canadian dollars, correct? It's impossible to make up such details. Do you think the economy is doing well right now? Guys, we have all the indicators we need to know that a reset is imminent. Now things are about to become exciting. Is everyone set? Things are progressing rapidly from King Space, so you may expect it soon. Wow, I can't believe Mr. Poole already told us that. I refuse to accept it as true. Guys. This is, what? In 2001, he made a post. Another date with a 13. Right? 1, really? In any case, the clock reads 6:40. Right. 6 and 4 make 10. 0 is where you are now. It's 113,113. Wow. Mr. Poole was truly a legend in his own day. Guys. Hold for a second, how did we miss these guys? Right. but now we have found the key. Why? Because Mr. Poole told you to be prepared for the 11:3 occurrence when the 113 happens. When will this occur? What do you think will happen? Record-breaking increases in the jobless rate. A definition, please. What the heck, you guys, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Wow. I refuse to accept it. Today. Soon, we will reveal a timeline. We are already past that point, right? And every time we fix a problem, it gets fixed. Now you know why the housing market could be turning around shortly. Keep in mind that I presented 3 possibilities, surely one of them will appeal to you. One of the 3 choices will likely be selected. Do you folks still have in mind the 3 choices I made? Choose alternative A. The markets will continue to rise until the inevitable crash. The alternative is for the market to suddenly crash. Right? However, there is a third possibility that the vast majority of to wit, what? You could go on a roller coaster if you wanted to. Right? It's possible that the market may go on a wild ride of pumping and dumping until it finally crashes. It seems more likely at this point that they will go with choice 3 or the C guys. Option B or, I dunno, there's just so many possibilities, guys, option C is a black swan. Indeed, that is the case. And we will explain it here and now. It's true. This is exactly what Mr. Poole warned us about. Mortgage defaults almost always precede increases in the unemployment rate. What the? The Federal Reserve has stated explicitly that they favor more unemployment in order to reduce inflation. Okay. In other words, the Federal Reserve hopes that unemployment will soar to unprecedented levels so that they can celebrate the dawn of a new era in 2020. And then the economy went into a tailspin, the value of digital assets plunged, and the stock market crashed. Yes, you read that correctly, the Fed wants unemployment to rise because it cannot control inflation. This could be their plan to reduce inflation gauze, which will entail the use of black swan events. Option C is looming on the horizon, so to speak. If they go with this choice in the future, they'll inevitably create a black swan event. After that, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell will step in and save the day. He plans to restart the printing machines and flood the markets with unprecedented amounts of money. Plus, it's all about the money, guys, right? Since he's likely to continue this strategy until inflation, and possibly even hyperinflation, returns, it's worth considering. And then, in a few years, everything will fall apart. The age of majority has been raised to 25. It's possible the second group is responsible, though. It's difficult to put a precise date on it, though. You can't possibly know that, can you? As a result, the Fed's plan will also cause a sharp increase in mortgage defaults. Right. People's inability to meet their mortgage payments is correlated with the prevalence of mortgage defaults. Then it goes into default. However, this is because they are currently unemployed. Therefore, these 2 indicators are related to one another. The unemployment rate increased in August, going from 3.5% to 3.8%. Right? Wow. I mean, you can feel the pump, right? The jobless rate has already begun to rise. Perhaps they are the early indicators of joblessness. Keep that third possibility in mind, guys, especially if things seem to be swinging back and forth again. The Federal Reserve won't let it die now, because they want to squeeze you guys for every last penny, so of course they'll step in and save the day. I mean, after they pump a ton of cash into the economy, hyperinflation is a distinct possibility, right? Sooner or later, probably within a year or 2. I don't know. Which means it's not good for you, but it's a good move if you want the money. What do you think about that? The strategy, then, is crystal clear. I've never laughed so hard in my life. Now that unemployment has risen above 4% and is approaching 5%, mortgage defaults will soon follow. It's hard to believe, but the Federal Reserve might cause a major housing crisis. To achieve their inflation target of 2%, they plan to artificially produce a black swan event and then promptly purchase everything back up to meet that demand. Basically, don't take my word for it, instead, research the past. Take a look at the events in the year 2020. True, gents. This is not a joke, and I will say it again, it is not acceptable. I anticipate this happening during the collapse rather than now, when unemployment is at a historic high. Yes, another 20 years is possible. Unemployment increases in tandem with any increase. This unprecedented one, however, will occur during the apocalypse. Now, I wanted to point out that the reason they are going to generate a black swan is because Joe Biden is going to become a legitimate source of concern. You all know what, let's bring back the 2020 thing again. And what was that we just said? Another one of those black swan catastrophes will be caused by them. What is it going to be, guys? I have no idea. Just look at the results. Right in the middle of each and every collapse, recession, or disaster. That price dump or pump always, well, it will happen with the grayscale news, Bitcoin price boosted, right? That's because there's always some external event that corresponds to that price narrative. The numbers bear this out, dudes. So, it seems like R&D is going to be a wild ride. Let that sink in for a second. The inversion of the currency yield curve is back to 1928 levels. Right. So, basically, we're doing something completely insane. When we reach these heights again, what will happen? The economy went into a deep slump. Right? Costs were reduced drastically. In 2020, you can reflect. Right. However, the situation is considerably more dire now. Huh? A black swan might be on the horizon, men. Right. Furthermore, unless they let the markets crash shortly, right? Crazy. Still, many view us as incorrect. But how are we when this is what I posted a few weeks ago? A XY dollar was used for this. I think the XY will end up dumping right about now. When the Bitcoin XRP market surges, then must be the time I start taking profits, right? From a compact trade bag. And when the DX arrives, we're going on a spree all the way to 109. Probably, or at the very least when I'm 6. Right? When school is in session from September through October is when a black swan incident might occur. Right? If this holds, then we should expect the markets to reach their peak around the year 2025. Right. But if the DXYD drops now, Marcus will be on top in 24 hours. So, the strategy for what I anticipate will happen is crystal clear. Let's see what the DXY is right now. The DXY men need to be checked out. What shall we say? What do we talk about when there's a minor dump? We've started to rev back up again. Isn't it strange how life works out? Right? Highly amusing. So long as we keep climbing, capital will continue to pour into this investment, correct? Perhaps. And, hey, a little update, shall we? I did. Right now, I don't have any open trades since I want to wait and see what happens before making any decisions. I may even short the markets. When oil was $25 per barrel and the average American home cost $10 million, those were the boom years. Do I have this right, guys? The Fed is still hiking rates. The Federal Reserve must thus take action. Without a doubt. I dunno, fellas, but I think we may have solved it. Our strategy is well known. The outcome is predictable. Surely the third possibility is the most plausible now. Rather than choice A or B. Well, I guess we'll have to see. It was probably for the best that things are about to get busy when he buys, so the first step is to get ready. Warn, prepare, and watch out. Please like and subscribe to my channel. See you later, bye.